This is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball, and this is Will Power, man. We have a lot of injuries going on, man. What's going on with this with MLB, dude?
Man, honestly, dude, like we were just talking about, I really think that it was because these players only had a 2-week summer camp instead of a 6-week spring training.
I agree, man.
How stretched out can you really get in 2 weeks? Especially when you don't really face any other teams. All you're doing is just kind of team practices and simulated games. You really need to go out there and really compete against other teams, even if it's only for 6 innings, at a time. That it's also a good chance to see all these minor leaguers that, in the beginning of the season, we started with 30-man rosters.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to see how these guys play. So I really wish we could have seen a little bit longer summer camp than the 2 weeks. But honestly, that's why I think all the injuries are coming around. The first one that I see here from a guy that just got signed to a long-term deal is Madison Bumgarner on the 10-day DL with back spasms. That's a huge one for pitchers. Pitchers all the time, they get these back spasms. And usually it's because they're not stretched out completely, or they have some other underlying issues. And
what you were saying. It's kind of crazy because I don't know if we're noticing it now that it's a 60-game season. We're noticing that there's more injuries, or maybe we're more focused on it now because the season's so much shorter. Because when there's 162 games in the season, you kind of don't really focus on the big injuries or these injuries that are 10-day injury list. But now, because the season's so short, and then you're actually looking at the injuries, you're like, man, this player's out. Is going to be out 10 games. 10 games is a lot of games for a 60-game season, man. And for those of people that don't know, like, that a 10 game could be a difference between making the playoffs or not making the playoffs. Right now, it's kind of like the second half of baseball after the All-Star game. These teams are making a push. So if one of your top players is not making or not actually playing, that can make a big time difference. And like we're kind of already halfway almost halfway for the season to end. So these players, it's going to be kind of hard to replace, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, from Arizona, a team that's not really even in it. But the team that we picked to win the NL East, the Braves, we have Ronald Acuna, one of the biggest players of all of baseball right now.
He's a top shortstop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, outfielder.
My bad.
He's on the 10-day IL right now. I don't really have any details or anything, but 10 days, 10 days for a position player, that's enough time where you can kind of cool off. And you, if you were in a hot streak before, you could lose it when you get back, depending on what his injury is. When he comes back, he could still be a little bit sore. Especially like with the wrist thing, like we saw with Justin Turner a couple years ago. Yeah, he comes back from the IL, but because you're still sore for the next 2-3 months, you just don't have that power that you used to. And Acuna is a power hitter. He's a 30 to 40 home run guy. And, with an injury,
you don't know if he's going to come back like ready like he was before.
Exactly.
So that's just it's just too much, man. I think it's hard on the team when you lose someone for 10 days or even more.
Yeah, especially with this shortened season. And then the next one, Ozzie Albies. They lost Ozzie Albies, their second baseman, their star second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
He's what I just talked about. Albies has something wrong with his wrist. It says that he took swings off a tee on Friday, but they don't know when he's exactly going to be ready. Usually, when they start taking swings, that means that he's maybe 3 or 4 days out from usually doing a rehab start, but because of COVID right now, we're not doing rehab starts. So we'll see how long they're really going to give him with that. And then we already talked about Mike Soroka in our last podcast. That's 3 huge players that the Braves are missing this year. Is that why they're not doing so good right now? Because they keep on getting these players that are injured. Maybe they didn't really start off to the best start. Acuna did. Acuna is just Acuna.
Yeah, he's just a beast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then moving on, Baltimore Orioles, they're looking pretty good in their division. The only one that I can really think of that they are really missing out of is Trey Mancini. But, everyone already knew that he wasn't going to be able to be available this season.
This season,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, he's recovering from cancer. Just in case everyone didn't know about that, he will hopefully be back next season. I miss seeing the power hitter from the Orioles.
Yeah.
Going
One
on
thing
to
in the
the Red
Orioles
Sox.
before we continue, they're in second place, so that's
Yeah, they're
that's a
they're
team to
looking pretty
watch.
good out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
that's a team to watch. That's a team to watch. Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Moving on to Boston. Um, You got Jose Peraza. He's only day to day. He's probably not going to hit the IL, but Andrew Benintendi on the 10-day IL.
Hmm.
Chris Sale, he's out for the whole season. We already
He's
knew
out for
about
the
that
whole
one.
season. Yeah, we
Yeah.
knew that one.
Eduardo Rodriguez, he decided not to play because of COVID.
Yeah,
And Dustin Pedroia, who's just always hurt.
yeah, man.
Um,
And then I mean, yeah, that's it for. I'm pretty sure he's gonna retire, man. It sucks, but
Yeah, I
it's
think
just,
it's time, man.
yeah,
He was a great player for so many years. I'll never forget that play where he stole second base and then there was no one covering third, so he ran his
he just
ass
got
off
up and ran. Yeah,
went to third base.
yeah.
Uh,
What's up with the Yankees, though, man?
oh,
Dang.
Yankees, man, Stanton
Oh,
first, and then Judge. You lose the Bash brothers.
oh man. It's
That
just when is Stanton gonna have a full season? I'm pretty sure every Yankee fan is asking that question.
Yeah, man. Like everyone really thought that, because this season was going to be so short that maybe he could actually stay healthy, but
Yeah,
apparently not. This guy, man, he's just made of glass, and it really sucks that
yeah,
great for him that he got that really long contract,
yeah,
but his team it's suffering because of all those injuries.
yeah. And Aaron Judge as well. Like Aaron Judge
Aaron
is a
Judge,
big time player, man.
yeah, man. That Aaron Judge and Stanton, they just keep on getting injured every single year. So I don't know. One of those guys, it would probably be a better decision just to keep them as a permanent DH, stop playing the field so much.
Yeah,
It's just Judge is such a good fielder, man. He has that height where he can reach over the fence and rob some home runs. He has the speed.
yeah,
He has that arm. He has a cannon,
yeah.
So it's really hard.
I will leave Stanton on DH and I'll just have Aaron Judge out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure Aaron Judge is going to come back, but it looks like Stanton's going to be out, I believe, for the whole season. If they, I don't
They
think
said a
he
few
has.
weeks.
Yeah,
How long is a few weeks? I mean,
we don't know. It's a short
he goes
season.
up from there.
Yeah,
Exactly. So,
yeah.
I mean, if they do make the playoffs, which they probably are,
Hmm.
um, they'll probably reinstate him because they're going to need his power when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be able to come back and get a little hot streak going. I'd love to see the Yankees in the World Series. It's been a while since we've seen that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And who else, man? Let's give one more update on another good team.
Moving on to Chicago Cubs that are in first place in the Central.
Yeah.
They just placed Tyler Chatwood on the 10-day DL
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says his back. So, just another pitcher with back problems,
Yeah.
as we mentioned before, Madison Bumgarner out with the back issue, and now Tyler Chatwood out with a back issue. And Tyler Chatwood, he's actually doing pretty good this season. I believe he's had 4 starts. His last start was kind of shaky, but maybe that's because of the back.
The back.
The first 3 starts were doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's one of the reasons why the Cubs are in first place in that division.
Yeah, and we didn't even pick the Cubs. Remember, we picked the Brewers and the Cardinals to actually, and the Cardinals are not looking that bad either. They just came off of the COVID thing, and they had 3 games already, and they won all 3 games already today. Speaking today, so hopefully all these injuries stop, because if they keep happening, you're gonna have all the top players going out in 10-day DL. I mean IL. Sorry.
So how's it going to work with the Cardinals since they weren't able to play so many games because of all the positive COVID tests? Are they going to have multiple double headers throughout a week? Or, I mean, they're not going to be able to play 60 games, right?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to play 60 games. They're going to try to get close to the 60 games, and then they're going to go off a winning percentage. So MLB hasn't released all that information out as of yet. Once it gets it out, we'll go ahead and post it on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for those of you that follow us. And if you're not following us, go ahead and follow us now. But yeah, when we get that information, we'll know. But for now, what it looks like is that they're going to try to get all those games in close to 60. So they're thinking about 50 games or 52 games, something around that area, because they did miss a bunch of games. I believe they missed 14 games already. That's a lot of games that they need to make up, and then to try to make up a lot of games like that, it's just going to take a toll on the team. Even though there's 7 inning games, it's 14 inning games if you think about it, because there's going to be 7 innings in the morning, 7 innings in the afternoon, and it's just going to be hard on them. Imagine
Yeah,
the
all those
bullpen.
players are going to play both games. Going to play
It's
all 14 innings in one day. And
Yeah, it's
you
just too
know,
much.
like a lot of those guys aren't so young. Yadier Molina, there's no way that he's going to be able to be behind the plate for 14 innings.
Yeah,
And what
yeah,
if it goes into extras?
yeah,
He's a great player. For a couple years, he played every single game.
yeah,
And as a catcher, that's unheard of.
yeah.
But I mean, at his age, I think he's 35 now.
Yeah.
35-year-old catcher like that, you might as well be 70. 'Cause maybe
It'd be harder to get up from the backstop, man.
it's man, it's like me being 37 years old. I could feel it in my knees, and I didn't play catcher for 20 something years like he did. So
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
only imagine how he feels on a daily basis.
I agree.
Sure, he has a lifetime supply of Vicodin.
He's gonna need it, or he's gonna need some cortisone shots for those knees, man, or something that get that thing going. All right, man. That's all we have today. Thanks, Will, for giving us all the updates. And this is Real Talk Baseball. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Carlos Baseball. This is Will Power, and thank you for listening.